Arnold Schwarzenegger adjusted his camera, his weathered face filling the screen as he leaned forward with uncharacteristic intensity. The livestream had started with just a few thousand followers, but now showed over 2 million viewers and climbing rapidly. "Listen to me very carefully," he said, his Austrian accent thick with emotion. "I have been bodybuilder. I have been Terminator. I have been governor, but nothing prepared me for what I am seeing right now." His massive hands gestured toward multiple screens behind him showing breaking news feeds. "Kim Clement, you know who this was? A prophet who died in 2016. Before he died, he made predictions that seemed absolutely impossible. But right now, as I speak to you, they are coming true exactly as he said." Arnold turned one of his monitors toward the camera. CNN was broadcasting live footage of explosions lighting up the Iranian night sky. The cheer read, "Breaking, U.S. forces strike 3 Iranian nuclear facilities." "This is happening right now," Arnold whispered, his voice carrying the weight of someone who had seen real combat in films but never expected to witness prophetic warfare. Kim Clement described this exact scenario 14 years ago. He said Iran would be struck when a specific leader returned to power. He said it would be sudden and then everything would change. The viewer count jumped to 3 million as Arnold pulled up an old audio file on his computer. "I have been carrying this recording around for weeks," he said, holding up a small digital device. "It's Kim Clement's prophecy from Nashville in 2010, the one where he talks about Iran, America, the bombs, and what it all means for the future of humanity." His finger hovered over the play button. "Once I play this, everything changes. You will understand that we are not just witnessing current events, we are witnessing something that was spoken over a decade ago. Something that connects to what Kim Clement called the final transformation." The viewer count hit 4 million. Arnold pressed play. Kim Clement's South African accent filled the room. "I see Iran being struck not by Israel alone, but by America. I see 3 locations. I see underground facilities being penetrated by weapons that go deep into the earth, like a Terminator going after its target." Arnold paused the recording, his eyes wide. 3 locations, the news just confirmed 3 locations, all underground nuclear facilities. But listen to what comes next. The recording continued. "When you see the Persian nation struck by the eagle's wings, know that the time of great transformation has begun. This will not be the end, but the beginning of a sequence that will reshape every nation on earth." Arnold stopped the recording, his hands visibly trembling. "Persian nation Iran, eagle's wings America." But listen to what he says comes next. "After the strike on Iran, watch for 3 signs. First, an unexpected alliance will form in the East. Second, gold will move in ways that shock the financial world. Third, a voice from the past will speak again, revealing truths hidden for decades." Arnold's phone started ringing. He glanced at it and his face went pale. "That's someone from the Pentagon. They have been calling me since I started this stream." He pulled up another news article. "Look at this. CNN reports Navy submarines fired 30 cruise missiles while B-2 stealth bombers dropped bunker buster bombs. The attack happened at night, local time. The parallels are impossible to ignore." Arnold played more of the recording. "When Iran is struck, watch China, watch Russia, watch for movement near Taiwan, watch for currency changes overnight, watch for alliances to shift in impossible ways." His phone buzzed again. "I'm getting messages from financial contacts. Asian markets are reacting to the Iran news. Bitcoin is moving unexpectedly. Gold prices are jumping through the roof." Arnold looked directly into the camera with growing concern. Kim Clement said within 48 hours of the Iran strike, we would see the first sign of the unexpected alliance, nations that have been enemies working together. His phone rang insistently. "I have to take this call." Kim Clement said the Iran strike would be followed by what he called the 21-day window, 21 days during which 7 specific events would unfold, events that would change world power forever. Arnold walked off camera, but his voice could still be heard. "Yes, I know what is happening. I have been expecting this call." The live stream continued showing an empty chair as 5 million people watched, waiting for the former governor to return. When Arnold returned, his entire demeanor had changed. His face was serious, almost grim. "That was a contact at NORAD," he said quietly. "They are tracking unusual military movements in the South China Sea, movements that were not there 6 hours ago." He pulled up a map on his laptop with red dots scattered across the Pacific Ocean. "Chinese naval vessels are moving toward Taiwan, but they are not alone. Russian ships have left Vladivostok heading south. North Korean submarines have also left port." Arnold zoomed in on the convergence of naval forces. "This is not normal positioning. These three nations have never coordinated naval movements like this, but Kim Clement predicted it. He reached for the audio device again. Let me play another part. I see ships from three nations moving as one. The dragon, the bear, and the hermit kingdom will unite their waters against the eagle. But this alliance will not bring victory, it will expose their weakness. Arnold paused the recording. Dragon, China. Bear, Russia. Hermit kingdom, North Korea. Eagle, America. This prophecy from 2010 describes exactly what is happening right now. His phone buzzed. He read the message and his eyes widened. State Department is asking how I knew about naval movements before they became public. Arnold looked at the camera with a mixture of awe and concern. I did not know. Kim Clement knew 14 years ago. He described today with terrifying precision. Arnold began pacing behind his desk, his imposing frame moving restlessly. Kim Clement did not just predict these events, he predicted their consequences. He said the alliance would form but ultimately fail. It would collapse within the 21-day window, leading to what he called the Great Exposure. He stopped and faced the camera. During this 21-day period, hidden truths would be revealed. Truth about government activities, financial manipulation, secret agreements between nations kept hidden for decades. The viewer count reached 6 million. Kim Clement said on day 7 of the window, a document would be released that would shock the world. A document revealing the real reason for Middle East conflicts over the past 20 years. His phone rang again. He shook his head. Fourth call from Washington today. They want to know where I got this information, but it belongs to a man who died 8 years ago, who somehow saw all this coming. Arnold leaned toward the camera. If Kim Clement was right about Iran and the alliance, we need to prepare for what comes next. On day 3, an economic event that would shake global markets. On day 5, a natural disaster affecting millions. On day 7, the document revelation. His expression grew more serious. On day 14, the voice from the silence would speak. Someone quiet for years would emerge with information that changes everything. 3 hours later, Arnold returned looking exhausted but electrified. It is happening faster than expected, he said. Kim Clement's timeline is accelerating. He showed multiple screens of global financial markets. Asian markets opened 3 hours ago. Nikkei down 12%. Hang Seng dropped 15%. But it is not just falling, it is falling in a specific pattern. Arnold highlighted certain stocks. Defense contractors skyrocketing. Gold mining companies through the roof. But tech, banks, and manufacturing all plummeting at the same rate. The entire market is reorganizing itself. He played Kim Clement's voice again. When the Persian strike occurs, watch the markets. They will not simply fall or rise, they will reshape according to a new reality. Wealth will move from one sector to another overnight. Arnold paused and looked amazed. He predicted market reorganization, not just volatility. That is exactly what we are seeing. Not random chaos, systematic restructuring. His phone buzzed. He read it and his expression changed. Federal Reserve contact. They are calling an emergency meeting tomorrow. Something unusual happening with international currency flows. Arnold pulled up currency charts. The dollar should be strengthening after the Iran strike. Military action usually boosts the dollar, but it is holding steady while other currencies move in ways that make no sense. He zoomed in on data points. Yuan strengthening against yen but weakening against euro. Ruble doing things I have never seen. Cryptocurrency markets moving independently of everything. Kim Clement said this would happen. The economic response would reveal the true structure of global finance, hidden connections between currencies, markets, nations. The audio device played another section. In the days following the Persian strike, the veil will be lifted from the financial world. Secret agreements will be exposed by money movement itself. The public will see how wealth has been controlled, markets manipulated, currencies used as weapons. Arnold stood up, pacing. This is bigger than military action. Kim Clement was describing the exposure of a global financial system most people do not know exists. His laptop chimed. He read it and his eyes widened. Someone just sent me leaked documents from the Bank of International Settlements. Documents showing coordinated currency interventions dating back 15 years. Arnold looked at the camera with excitement and concern. These were not supposed to be released for 30 years, but someone is releasing them now, right on Kim Clement's schedule. He sat back down. According to these documents, the Iran strike was not just military. It was timed to coincide with predetermined currency movements. The economic response we are seeing was planned years in advance. His phone rang. He looked at the caller ID. Goldman Sachs, Fifth call from major financial institutions today. They all want to know how I knew this was coming. He declined the call and faced the camera. Kim Clement said what we have seen is nothing compared to Day 7. A document would expose the real reason for Middle East conflicts over 2 decades. Day 7 arrived, and Arnold looked different, almost fearful. Today is Day 7 of Kim Clement's window, and the document has been released, he said, holding up a thick folder with shaking hands. This came through encrypted channels an hour ago, a classified Defense Intelligence Agency report from 15 years ago, a strategic plan for reshaping Middle Eastern power through coordinated military and economic actions. Arnold opened the folder. I cannot show everything, some could endanger people, but the Iran strike was planned years ago as part of a larger strategy involving the entire region. He looked at the camera with awe and concern. Kim Clement said this document would be revealed on Day 7, right down to the exact day. The audio device played. On the 7th day, the hidden plan will be exposed. Documents will surface showing the true purpose of Persian conflicts, but this will not bring peace, it will awaken those who have been sleeping, and they will speak with a voice that has been silent for years. Arnold paused and leaned forward, the voice from silence. After the document revelation, someone quiet for years would emerge with world-changing information. His phone buzzed. He read it and went pale. Message from Julian Assange. He has been largely silent since his prison release. He is asking for secure communication. He has information about the Iran operation connecting to WikiLeaks documents held for over a decade. The chat exploded at Assange's name. That is not all. Similar messages from other sources. People quiet for years suddenly coming forward. Edward Snowden posted cryptic social media messages. Chelsea Manning hinted at new revelations. Former government officials are speaking out. Arnold stood and paced. Kim Clement did not just predict truth revelation, he predicted it would awaken others holding back information, like a dam breaking, causing downstream dams to burst. He showed multiple social media feeds and news websites. In 6 hours, we have seen more whistleblower activity than in 6 months. People coming forward with information about government surveillance, corporate corruption, international money laundering. Arnold sat and faced the camera. According to Kim Clement, this is just the beginning of the awakening phase. Days 8 through 13 would see cascading revelations exposing connections between governments, corporations, and financial institutions. The audio device played again. When the voice from silence speaks, it will trigger other voices to join. Suppressed truth will pour forth like a flood, but those controlling the narrative will not surrender power easily. They will fight back with weapons of confusion and chaos. Arnold looked concerned. Kim Clement predicted the revelations would trigger backlash. Those in power would respond with a confusion campaign, deliberate misinformation and distractions. His phone rang. He looked at the caller ID and his expression changed. Someone I definitely need to talk to. He answered quietly. His facial expressions showed surprise, concern, then fear. When he hung up, he sat in silence before addressing the camera. That was a CIA contact. They are tracking coordinated information warfare targeting multiple governments simultaneously. Sophisticated disinformation campaigns that started exactly when Kim Clement said they would. Arnold showed social media platforms. In the past hours, explosion of conspiracy theories, false information, contradictory narratives about everything happening. He looked at the camera intensely. This is not random chaos. Kim Clement predicted this exact response. As truth emerged, those wanting to suppress it would flood the information space with confusion. 2 weeks had passed since the Iran strike. Arnold looked exhausted, dark circles, disheveled appearance, intense obsession. Day 14. I have been awake 36 hours because I knew something was coming. Kim Clement said this would be when everything became clear. He held up his constantly buzzing phone. At 3:47 a.m. Eastern, I received a message that changed everything. A message proving Kim Clement was not making predictions, he was describing a timeline someone has been following. His hands shook as he pulled up an encrypted message. This came from inside the Pentagon. Someone with highest-level classified access. Someone who says they have been watching Kim Clement's prophecies for years, waiting for this moment. Arnold looked at the camera with frightening intensity. According to this source, the Iran strike was not just a military operation. It was a test to see if Kim Clement's prophetic timeline was accurate. Now that it has proven accurate, people in power are terrified. The audio device crackled. On the 14th day, the watchers will reveal themselves. Those orchestrating events from the shadows will step into the light not by choice, But by necessity, the timeline will become their cage, forcing them to accelerate their plans. Arnold paused and leaned toward the camera. The watchers. Kim Clement talked about people watching his prophecies, using them as a roadmap. Now they are forced to reveal themselves because the timeline is becoming public. His laptop chimed with another encrypted message. His face went white. World Economic Forum emergency meeting tomorrow. Not scheduled emergency session with world leaders, central bank governors, and timeline specialists. Arnold stood and paced frantically. Timeline specialists. They have people studying Kim Clement's prophecies and planning accordingly. This is not religious prediction, it is geopolitical strategy based on prophetic intelligence. He showed global news feeds. Look what is happening worldwide. In 6 hours. Coordinated announcements from governments everywhere. Emergency economic measures. New international agreements. Sudden foreign policy changes. Arnold zoomed in on specific stories. European Union announced new digital currency system. China revealed military alliance with 6 African nations. Russia published strategic partners list for the first time in decades. United States called emergency joint congressional session. His phone rang. He looked at the caller ID and his expression changed completely. This is impossible. This call is from someone supposed to be dead. He answered, putting it on speaker for the live stream. Arnold, a familiar voice said, you need to stop broadcasting Kim Clement's prophecies. You are accelerating something meant to unfold more slowly. The chat exploded as people tried identifying the voice. Who is this? Arnold asked. Someone who helped design the timeline you are exposing. Someone who worked with people studying Kim Clement's prophecies before he died. We have been managing the fulfillment of these predictions for years, but your broadcasts are forcing us to speed up. Arnold's hands trembled holding the phone. You are saying Kim Clement's prophecies were meant to be fulfilled artificially? Not artificially. Kim Clement saw a real timeline, but we discovered that timeline could be managed, controlled, shaped for specific purposes. The Iran strike, economic changes, information revelations, all carefully orchestrated. 15 million people were listening. But why? Arnold asked. Because Kim Clement saw something else, something after day 21, something that would happen whether we guided events or not. By managing the timeline, we thought we could control the outcome. The line quieted before continuing. But your broadcast changed everything. People know the timeline now. They are expecting Kim Clement's predicted events. That expectation is creating reality. We cannot control what happens after day 21. What happens after day 21? Arnold asked. Something Kim Clement called the final transformation. Humanity will choose between 2 paths. One leads to truth and freedom. The other leads to permanent control and surveillance. Your broadcasts are forcing that choice sooner than planned. The call ended abruptly. Arnold stared at the phone in shock, then looked at the camera. I think I understand now. Kim Clement did not just predict these events, he predicted that powerful people would try using his predictions to control the future. But he also predicted their control would ultimately fail. He reached for the audio device one final time. There is one more part one have not shared. The part about days 15 through 21. What Kim Clement called the final revelation. His finger hovered over the play button. Once I play this, there is no going back. Everyone will know what is supposed to happen in the next 7 days. And if that caller was right, knowing the timeline will make it impossible to control. The live stream audience waited in intense silence. The choice is ours. Do we want to know what comes next, even if knowing it changes everything? 20 million people held their breath as Arnold's finger pressed play for the final time. Kim Clement's voice filled the silence. On the 21st day, humanity will face its final transformation, the choice between truth and deception, between freedom and control, between light and darkness, and in that moment, every person on earth will know exactly which path they must take. The recording ended. Arnold looked at the camera with exhausted determination. 7 days left. 7 days until humanity makes its final choice. Kim Clement saw this moment coming years ago. Now it is here. And we all have to decide what kind of world we want to live in. The live stream counter showed 25 million viewers as the world waited to see what would happen next.